Nobody's going to fuck with you, man. You'll dominate this scrum here.
We go to the Netherlands.
Can I? No, you can't ask a question. I'm asking all the questions here.
All right. Dana, if we weren't hyped already for tomorrow night, we are now. Can you share with us, is this the biggest fight ever in the UK?
Yeah, definitely. On every metric. I mean, the gate is up to like 9 point something million right now. I think the biggest gate we did before this was 4.6 or 4.7. And you know, every time you come to the UK, this could be a fight night or a title fight, and the crowd is always the same, man. This place is electric, and it's one of the best live crowds in all of sports.
Yeah, we set records here last year in March. It was one of the best shows last year. Are we going to break those records tomorrow with everything?
We already broke it. We didn't break the record. We shattered the record.
Yeah.
Smashed it, yeah. It's funny because last year, every event was a sellout. Mm-hmm. Now this year, with the exception of Brazil, every event is like a Madison Square Garden gate. It's unbelievable.
So about the rest of the year for Europe, we just talked about it a little bit. We had 3 events last year. The world's back to normal. Can you share with us anything about what's going to happen in the rest of the year? We heard some rumors about July, maybe, Aspinall fighting.
Yeah, we're still kicking a lot of stuff around. I mean, right now we have fights made up until I want to say June, like early June, and we're working on the rest of the year here. So, got to get through the summer, figure out where we're going. But we're looking at literally, my war room where we got all the fights up there. So all the fights that we're working on now have 5 or 6 different potential places on them that we haven't figured out yet. But yeah, we're going to start traveling again and going into places that, like I say, are easy to do business. I mean, I was just in Boston. That's where I come from. I mean, they're still talking about COVID in Boston. They don't have 24-hour room service and stuff like that. It's very weird. If we live in Vegas, you'd never even know COVID happened in Vegas. I mean, it's 100%. It's like 2018 there right now. It's madness. But still going to some of these places, they're still dealing with some of that stuff. I'm going to go to whatever city is the easiest place to do business without any of that.
I got to ask, we're from Holland. Amsterdam on the list?
Amsterdam. No, we're looking at Sweden though.
All right.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
We're looking at Sweden.
That's nice. So one last thing, then I'll let everybody else get.
That's very nice of you. Yeah. Okay.
Big surprise at the weigh-ins this morning. Colby Covington showed up. Everybody was super surprised. Nobody knew about it. Nobody shared anything about it. He's ready to go. He was the backup for this fight. Does it automatically mean that he's the next in line for the title shot after this?
That I don't know. I mean, obviously he stepped up for this and did this thing, and he's obviously one of the best in the world. But yeah, he's right there. We always have a backup. I don't think. My son actually hit me up and said, "Dad, I don't understand this. What's going on? Why did Colby Covington weigh in?"
Yeah.
So I had to explain it to him. I said, "Yeah, there's always a backup for a fight. It just never gets as much attention as Colby did today."
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm gonna stay here, but
Good to see you.
Yeah,
go ahead too.
Dana, thanks for the permission. We usually, we know the English crowd are going to come in with lots of the energy, but today Leon and Kamaru came with some energy at that final face-off. They were screaming at each other. What exactly were they saying to each other?
They were just yelling. Usman was saying, "Oh, now you want to talk, huh? Now you want to talk." I have no idea what that meant, but yeah. And he said, "You're going to get beat tomorrow. You're going to get beat tomorrow." Same type shit. The shit that you can imagine they were saying. It wasn't really bad. It was. They were just both fired up.
For Colby, you said he's not guaranteed to be the next title contender, but for him, right, it made a lot of sense being the backup to this card. He keeps his name in there. He's obviously going to come out tomorrow and probably shit all over Masvidal and Gilbert Burns. Are you happy that he stepped up to be the backup for this?
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with all the guys that do it. These guys commit to a camp and cut the weight and stay in shape in case anything goes down, and they're ready to go. So, yeah, I obviously appreciate and respect everybody that does it.
Leon Edwards has always been a guy, right, who's very, very good, but he didn't get the crowd on his side for a long time of his career. Winning the title obviously will help you do that, but in the lead up to this fight, have you seen a difference in him, how he's handling the media and how he's trying to dominate this market?
Well, I mean, listen, if he can't get the crowd behind him here, he's not going to get the crowd behind him anywhere. And you have to look at what he did, how he did it. It's incredible. It's what professional sports are all about, the way that he won that fight and how it went down. And, people love an underdog and people love the champ. And this is where he's from. This is his home country. So, yeah, I would expect tomorrow night when he walks out of that tunnel, it's going to be insane.
If you look at those two fights those guys have had now, Leon and Kamaru, is it almost like the only way Leon can win is landing some sort of strike like that? Because Kamaru's dominated basically 7 of the 8 rounds, or 9 rounds they've gone.
Yeah, but it's the fun thing about it's what makes this sport what it is that those type of things can happen. And it's the classic striker versus wrestler. I mean, Usman can absolutely dominate him in wrestling, but every time it gets back to its feet, Usman has to be careful. But Usman, you think about the guys he's fought. He was going through guys twice in his run. And guys like Masvidal and Colby Covington, the striking that went on in those fights, the head kicks and all that stuff. Guy's never been knocked out. So going into that last round of a fight that he absolutely dominated, I'm sure, he didn't think that he could get caught with something like that, and he did. And Leon is absolutely capable of doing it again.
Last one from me. You've always said if people need to try, they should come to an event in London. Right. You've just landed, I think, right? Or you got here today. I
just landed, yeah.
You hear the crowd. The fight's massive now. You've seen the two of them joining at each other. What sort of reaction do you think we're going to get from the fans tomorrow night, and how excited are you personally for tomorrow?
Yeah, well, I hope a lot of people took me up on that, and that's why the gate's so massive here. They all flew in from somewhere because, like I just told him, this is probably the greatest crowd in all of live sports. It's incredible, and I look forward to it. It's been a long time since I've been here. But the thing about this crowd, like I was saying, this could be a fight night, or this could be, the World Championship with one of their own in it, and you're gonna get the same thing no matter what. This is an awesome place to watch a fight. The energy is through the roof. The ride to the arena sucks, but other than that, this is the place to be, and this is the place to see a fight. It's incredible.
Normally when you have a backup fighter, you kind of announce it ahead of time. Colby Covington seemed to catch everyone off guard. People didn't even know he was here. Kamaru and Leon said they weren't even aware of that at the press conference. So how did you keep Colby Covington a secret for the...
We didn't. We didn't keep him a secret. I didn't even know that it was such a big secret. We're out there doing what we do. I'm not really aware of what you guys know and what you don't know until, it happens. So it wasn't anything that was being kept a secret. We have a backup for every fight. It's just never a big deal. Nobody ever really asked, well, who's the backup for this fight? And it's not anything that we really promote.
Justin Gaethje at Media Day said he is the most exciting fighter in the history of this sport to ever step in the octagon. So do you agree with that statement? What are you expecting in the co-main event?
Who, Gaethje said that he is?
He's the most exciting fighter ever. Listen,
you can't debate that he's one of them. You know what I mean? And when you look at this fight tomorrow, the co-main event is awesome. And I expect what you all expect, fireworks the minute the bell rings. Those two are going to go after each other, and who knows what's going to happen. Yeah, I mean, usually saying something like that is crazy, but for Gaethje to say it, he's not wrong. I don't know if he's the most exciting, but he's definitely one of them.
Conor McGregor recently gave an interview this week saying he's very interested in the main event and he might actually come to the fights here in London. So do you know if Conor's coming? And he has this circled.
We have seats for him. So he's running around. He's on a big PR tour right now. I know he did like a pop-up here for his bar and Proper 12 and all the stuff he's got going on. But yeah, we have seats for him if and when he shows.
Unrelated to this event, John Jones and Stipe are tweeting at each other about July. Is that an official date?
What are they saying?
John seemed to say that Stipe was backing out of July. Stipe responded with "see you in July" and then posted a video of him hitting mitts.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. A lot of stuff goes on publicly that isn't necessarily the case behind the scenes. But yeah, I hope so.
Is Stipe?
Because if they're tweeting July, you know what that means. So that'd be good.
Is Stipe trying to get out of July?
No. Listen, Stipe's never tried to get out of anything ever. This guy is looked at as the greatest or one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And, I don't think Stipe's trying to get out. The thing you have to understand for some of these guys when they get to the level of a Jones, a McGregor, a Stipe's done it all. He's made tons of money. Plus he has his job in Ohio. He's got babies. These guys have stuff going on. So it's never a matter of, he's trying to get out of something. Stipe's been fighting his whole life. Who's he trying to hide from? You know what I mean? Doesn't even make sense. Plus, this will be, if not the biggest, one of the biggest fights of his life. So.
Last one for me. Power Slap just wrapped up. How reflections on the season as a whole, and would you change anything production-wise for next season?
No, it was incredible. I mean, you ask anybody that was at that place live, it was one of the fucking craziest nights ever. It was awesome. And, I would literally have had meetings already. I just landed. We had meetings for season 2. You know, we're working on season 2. We have a 2-year deal for 2 more seasons of Slap and 8 live fights over the next 2 years. So the next one's going to be fun. It's going to be in Abu Dhabi. And the thing with Abu Dhabi is, you know, it's hard to get people in the United States right now. In Abu Dhabi, we can get everybody in. We can get Russians. We can get people from Poland, South Africa, Australia, Eastern Europe. So we're looking for all the best guys in the world to come to Fight Island, Abu Dhabi to compete in season 2. And then whoever wins in season 2 will fight the guys from season 1.
Then can we know more about the UFC Paris, maybe in September? Can you confirm it or not?
I don't know. Yeah, like I just told him, we're trying to figure out what's next, where we're going, and we have multiple places that we're looking at for each event. Like literally, when it says June 6th, right? There's 5 different places up there that we could go. So we're just trying to figure it out.
And about we saw Thomas Pinal was here. We asked him if Surligan would be a good matchup for him. He said maybe yes, maybe no. What do you think about that?
How's he feeling?
He said
He says he's
yeah,
cleared. He says he's good.
He's clear. He said.
Good, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, obviously Aspinall is one of the best in the world in the heavyweight division. So we'll see. We'll see how all this stuff plays out.
Okay, thanks.
Dana, hi, how are you? Good. Kamaru Usman was the number 1 pound for pound. I know John Jones is back and he's got that, but you think if he avenges his loss to Leon, he reclaims that spot?
That's up to you guys. I love when you guys ask me about the pound for pound, and you know the media decides the pound for pound. Yeah, the pound for pound's never been more exciting than it is right now. I mean, when you start looking at you know, Usman, you got Islam, you know, you got Volkanovski, you got all these guys that, you know, they're all neck and neck.
And I know you said Colby is not necessarily next in line. Bilal's manager had mentioned that there were talks of Colby coaching the Ultimate Fighter with Bilal. Was there any truth to that? And is that one of the fights that was offered to Colby?
Well, what's hilarious is, you know, there's all this talk about the Ultimate Fighter and people coaching. Obviously, you know, when we're thinking about who's going to coach a season or whatever, there are multiple calls that are made to different people to see who's interested. Is there interest? Is there this? Is there that? So we reach out to a lot of different people and talk to people about it, and then we make our final decision, and it ended up being, you know, Mike and Connor.
And speaking of Connor, it seems like there's a bit of a misunderstanding between him and USADA. You know, he said 2 tests and I'll be back. USADA put out a statement and said 6 months of testing, as it usually is. Can we see an exemption for Connor, or is it?
I have no idea. I don't pay any attention to that shit. That's not my job anymore, man, and I'm happy to be out of it. Talk to USADA. I have no idea. I want nothing to do with the whole drug testing side of this business.
Yeah.
It's a fucking nightmare.
A couple more, sorry. UFC announced that they're back in Abu Dhabi. Islam seems a pretty obvious choice, although it will be quite a layoff for him from February. Are we looking at Islam Makhachev to headline UFC Abu Dhabi?
We're working on that. Literally had a meeting about that today after I landed. And yeah, I'm excited to get back there. And yeah, I'm going to be in Abu Dhabi a lot this year. I'm going over there for season 2 of Power Slap, and I will be there for our fight. So still a lot of work to do. We got a lot of stuff that we got to do.
Yeah. One final one. Any update on Hamzat Chimaev? It seems like he wants middleweight as his next fight. Are we looking at him versus the upper echelon? He was a top contender at welterweight.
Yeah, he'll fight at middleweight. Yeah, yeah. And yes, I mean he's in a position where he should be fighting, you know, top 3 guys in the world.
Dana, what can we expect from the latest season from the Ultimate Fighter with Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler?
It was a good season. We wrapped on Monday. Yeah. Literally wrapped the show, and I jumped on a plane and flew to Boston to film Looking for a Fight, and then flew straight here after that. It was a great season, and you know, obviously I think it's going to do really well on ESPN. It's the first time it's ever been on ESPN. It was a good season, and I'm looking forward to it.
In the last DAZN interview, you said that Conor McGregor really needs to get his dog back. Did you have the impression that he did that?
He needs to get his what back?
His dog.
The dog back? Yeah. Well, you know, he said to me himself when we were there, it was good for me to come be a part of this. I feel, you know, get my foot back in the sport, get energized, and yeah, I think you guys can ask him when you see him, but yeah, I think he's feeling it right now. He had a good experience over there, and they both loved coaching, so.
And you had a couple of great events in Europe lately. How are the plans for the European area in the next couple of years in general?
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, as long as the world doesn't lose its mind again, man, we're out there, trying to figure out places to go. Like I just told him, we're going to Sweden. We're working on going to Sweden. That's where we're trying to go. And all these other places that used to be a regular stop for us. You think about it, how long we've been off from traveling. We've done so many fights at the Apex, at the T-Mobile in Vegas, Texas, Florida. And, it's time to start moving around again. So we're looking forward to it.
Are there any plans to go to Germany or during the event there specifically?
We got plans to go everywhere. I mean, it's just we're picking places right now that are the easiest to operate in. We can go over there. There's no bullshit. We can put on events. I want to go to places where I feel like it's 2018, and I'm putting on fights without any bullshit. You know what I mean by bullshit.
Yeah. We made for RMC Sport in France, something happened against John Jones. It was a big event and something changed about MMA. We made 71 million video view. It was historical for us. Do you have a message for French people who discovered MMA and UFC in this last event?
Do you have a message for French people that have discovered MMA recently?
Oh, welcome. What took you so long? I think that obviously it took us a while. That reminds me of New York. Took us so long to get into New York. Took us so long to get into France. And once we do an event somewhere, it's a live event, it's like an explosion, man. And I say this all the time. Whoever came to the event in France, nobody leaves a UFC event and goes, yeah, I don't ever want to come to one of these again. You know what I mean? You immediately become a fan of the sport through the live event. It's great on TV. It's one of the most fun sports to watch on TV. But when you come live, right? There's going to be people here tomorrow night that have never been here live, and they're going to leave here tomorrow night and go, holy shit! Yeah, I can't wait to do one of these again. I mean, if you look at the success that we've had here, it happens every time we come. New people come. You can't get tickets to these things here in London. So, it's going to be the same in Paris and anywhere else we go. When we do our first event in Africa, it's going to be the same. You know what I mean? So that's one of the things that I love about this sport. And it's one of the reasons that the only shit that I really focus on a day-to-day basis is finding new talent, building new talent, the live television, in-house show, and the live television production. If we don't fuck that up, you can't fuck this thing up. It's the key to the entire business. Video games are great, merchandise is great, all this other stuff we do is great, but without that core of the business, none of that stuff works.